You are watching the show that puts mid-Michigan news in focus. This is Focal Point.
Up next on Focal Point, find out how the hashtag delete Uber makes its way to local Lansing and why students here at MSU no longer support the app.
Betsy DeVos, Secretary of Education, was confirmed with a narrow vote, 51-50. What do public school teachers have to say about her? I've got that story coming up.
No wall! Sanctuary for all! Sanctuary for all!
And MSU students united the Rock to protest one of Donald Trump's first executive orders as president. Focal Point starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Focal Point. I'm Sierra Cersei.
And I'm Kelly Cullen. Welcome to Focal Point. After only a couple weeks in office, President Trump has been busy signing executive orders.
The immigration ban has been the most controversial, with an appeals court judge blocking the order just last night. Many MSU students are still concerned. Julie Dunmeyer joins us now with how students have been reacting to the ban and what President Trump's next steps will be. Julie?
President Trump's executive order and the judge's decision are both being felt here on campus as MSU's community reacts.
Love, not hate!
A conversation.
Channel that anger, channel that frustration, and do something with it.
That Michigan State junior Shush Mahmood is having a hard time having.
I don't even want to argue with you.
But that's why she's here.
Yeah!
To show her disapproval to Donald Trump's executive order that prevents Muslims from entering the United States from several specific nations.
There's no guarantee that we won't be on that list.
Sush is from Bangladesh, a country not currently included in Donald Trump's executive order, but she says she's worried about what could happen next.
What if Bangladesh gets into that list and my father can never come back here? It's too scary even to think about.
And immigration lawyer Ying Bear says the issue gets more complicated because foreigners trying to enter the United States don't have much recourse.
But the people being affected by this executive order do not have a constitutional right. So they cannot challenge this.
Okay.
But retired Michigan State professor Fred Fico says this order is just the beginning.
I see it as being precursor to something way more permanent.
Fico says it's important that the laws at the border be created and enforced.
I think if we don't pay attention to terrorist threats from particular areas of the world, we're going to have dead Americans.
Right.
But Sush says the worst part of this ban is that her religion specifically is being targeted.
You are like opening your doors for Christians, but you are not opening your doors for Muslims.
I think he's very sincere, and many Americans support this sincerity about securing the borders.
Justice for all!
Donald Trump's executive order will last for 120 days, but will bar Syrian refugees indefinitely.
No ban!
For now, Muslims can enter the country after last night's ruling, but we likely haven't heard the end of this. President Trump's legal team will likely appeal.
Thank you, Julie, for that update. Michigan State is home to more than 7,000 international students, some from the 7 countries affected by President Trump's executive immigration order. University officials have been actively responding to the developing situation. Focal Point's Chloe Keipel brings us more.
Uncertainty.
There's a lot of inconsistency.
Confusion.
I am shocked like everyone else.
Students came with questions.
I'm expecting a strong answer from MSU.
And at Michigan State's meeting about the immigration ban,
we can't change anything about the executive order.
The university could only offer a little more than support.
We're committed to supporting you.
Luana K. Simon issued this statement. President Trump's executive order runs counter to our core values. Our students and scholars come from around the world to become Spartans and then return to make it better. One of those Spartans is Hussein, an Iranian grad student who did not want to use his last name.
And I've had a lot of good success stories in the past year in my research, and I wanted to go abroad and present them in different conferences in the following months. But now all of those plans are canceled.
MSU's meeting came just days after the executive order was issued.
Starting to feel like we've been living with this for all of our lives.
And since then, a federal judge has lifted the ban.
We try to be hopeful.
President Trump is appealing the ruling, leaving some Spartans from the 7 formerly banned countries hesitant and concerned.
You all should speak out.
The university is encouraging students to raise their voice, and that's what they've been doing.
No ban, no wall. That was the rallying cry of hundreds of students, faculty members, and community members who gathered here in protest of President Trump's immigration ban.
We want to put a face to the story.
As the terms of the order are being worked out, Michigan State maintains its commitment to helping out students. In East Lansing, I'm Chloe Keipel for Focal Point News.
And with the decision from last night, many from the 7 banned countries are hoping to get to the United States before another judge reverses the lower court's decision. The immigration ban has caught most of the attention since President Trump has taken office, but he has also nominated a new Supreme Court justice. Judge Neil Gorsuch will fill the seat left vacant by the death of Justice Antonin Scalia, who died last February. Gorsuch has been a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for over 10 years and was nominated by President Trump earlier this month. He was on the list of 21 judges selected by Trump as possible nominees. Trump talked about how he hopes the judicial system can improve.
Courts seem to be so political, and it would be so great for our justice system if they would be able to read a statement and do what's right.
His nomination is now pending before the Senate Judiciary Committee and awaits confirmation before he can officially become a Supreme Court justice.
Uber, the popular ride-sharing app, especially among MSU students, took a hit this week as a controversy erupted over the CEO's connections to President Trump and his decision to disable surge pricing around New York's John F. Kennedy Airport. Focal Point's Amber Howard has more on how many are now deleting the Uber app.
To protesters, this was seen as profiting from the strike, and as a result, a hashtag was created on Twitter named Delete Uber.
I deleted the app because I felt like it was too much of them trying to capitalize on something that a lot of people disagreed with in America.
MSU sophomore Coltrane Lewis is not happy with Uber.
I think that they recognized that they could have profits from doing what they did.
He joined the Delete Uber movement when he found out CEO Travis Kalanick was an advisor to President Trump.
There's a lot of people out there throwing around the word fascist with Donald Trump, and I think that this kind of falls in that category.
The situation got worse last week when New York cabbies said they wouldn't serve JFK Airport for an hour in support of those protesting the president's executive order. Uber took advantage, turning off surge pricing, a tactic that increases fares during busy times.
At Uber as a company, whether they say they were aware of what was going on or not in the JFK airport, you can't call yourself a progressive application, an application that put taxi drivers out of business even.
East Lansing Uber driver Ahmad Hassan says he was so upset he deleted the app too.
I'm not going to work for a company that is going against, the things going wrong in today's society.
The controversy has grown tremendously on social media with the hashtag Delete Uber.
I'm a proud Uber driver.
While some have deleted Uber for good, others, such as Joshua Gillespie, still uses the app. Now, he doesn't support his CEO's actions, but at the same time, he still needs a source of income.
Been driving Uber less than a year.
Gillespie values Uber and the services they provide for people.
I typically drive Uber on surge activity, which simply means that it's 2 to 3 times the normal rate.
But he doesn't agree with their decision to drop surge pricing during the protest.
I will not always agree with what my boss does.
Although Uber's CEO apologized and resigned from Trump's advisory council, the hashtag Delete Uber continues to grow as people delete the app and share their comments on Twitter. In East Lansing, I'm Amber Howard, Focal Point News.
Since the hashtag Delete Uber has emerged on social media, New York Times is reporting that more than 200,000 people have deleted their Uber accounts. Controversial Grand Rapids billionaire Betsy DeVos is now the new Secretary of Education after a historic confirmation vote in the Senate, with Vice President Mike Pence breaking the 50-50 tie. Focal Point's Chloe Keipel talks to educators and brings us reaction.
Music changes kids' lives. It gives them a place to belong.
Michigan's music educators say music unites them.
Music is this amazing bond between all people.
They also feel strongly,
sure, I have tons of opinions,
about President Trump's pick for Education Secretary.
The DeVos Place Convention Center is this year's host for the Michigan Music Conference, an event that brings together the state's educators, many of whom have a lot to say about Betsy DeVos, Trump's pick for Secretary of Education.
I'm very nervous.
Choir director Angel Gippert is concerned because DeVos has no prior experience in education.
You really truly have to be in the education system, working with the kids day by day to understand what we are doing.
I think someone in that position should have some more direct experience.
The Grand Rapids billionaire advocates for school choice and using vouchers to pay for private schools.
It's the parents who need to decide.
Dr. Hosep Tarosian is the principal of the Alex and Marie Manoogian School in Southfield. It's one of nearly 400 charter schools and counting in Michigan.
But I believe in what we do here.
In 2011, DeVos's $2 million lobbying effort helped lift the cap on the number of these charters.
Anyone who promotes, understands the concept of charters is welcome.
Despite opposition from Democrats and teacher unions nationwide, DeVos was confirmed in the Senate Tuesday.
The Vice President votes in the affirmative.
The confirmation decided by Vice President Mike Pence's tie-breaking vote. In Grand Rapids, Chloe Keipel, Focal Point News.
Of the American Federation of Teachers said it is a sad day for children following DeVos's confirmation, while Republicans like Jeb Bush and Newt Gingrich tweeted their support and congratulated Ms. DeVos.
President Trump's first day in office was marked by protests around the country and the world. According to some estimates, over 1 million people took to the streets for the Women's March in Washington, D.C. Satellite marches took place throughout the state, including one in Grand Rapids. Protesters marched to raise concern and show support for issues like reproductive health reform, LGBT rights, and immigration.
We didn't really have any plans to go out here, but then I saw the photos on Facebook and the videos, and I was like, let's just go, Mom.
2.9 million people were estimated to come out for the Women's March, making it one of the largest protests in U.S. history.
Winter weather means wearing an extra jacket or a scarf to keep warm, but winters can be extremely tough for those who live on the streets. Focal Point's Whitney Burney takes us to a shelter where Lansing homeless can stay warm this winter.
I became homeless for a year and a half now. I'm shelter to shelter, struggling and not having a place and feeling lost.
This is Diana Ramey. She says it was difficult to make it through the winter without a place to live.
Yeah, this is my space, and I usually like to hang things down.
Ramey now lives in the Volunteers of America shelter and says she has met a lot of families in need at their warming center.
Having the warming center is a blessing because I think, where would we go?
Wintertime is hard on the homeless, very hard.
Darren Estep works for the Volunteers of America Lansing.
Nobody needs to be outside when it's dangerously cold, because you know this kind of weather can kill you.
Homeless people are at an increased risk of hypothermia, frostbite, and freezing to death. And to make sure everyone gets a safe night of rest, Volunteers of America open up the doors to their warming center when the wind chill reaches single-digit numbers or there's about 4 inches of snow on the ground.
Well, the alternative, unfortunately, it would be to risk freezing to death.
There are no places open.
And Ramey wants people not to forget about the homeless this winter.
It's like we're being bypassed and we're asking for it. We do this to ourselves, and that's not true. And it can happen to anybody. So thank God again for the VOA supplying this place for us. It's a blessing all around it.
This year, the winter storms haven't been as harsh as they have in previous years, but the VOA says they are prepared to leave their doors open for those in need. In Lansing, Whitney Burney, Focal Point News.
In addition to the VOA Center, Lansing has several rescue missions in homeless shelters that serve daily meals and provide warm places to sleep for those in need. Lansing's mobile food pantry made its monthly stop last week at a local church. Every third Saturday of the month, families line up with empty baskets but leave with loaded boxes. Mayor Verge Bernero and Dr. Joan Jackson Johnson organize a food pantry each month, which is sponsored by the City of Lansing and the Greater Lansing Food Bank. 12-year-old Cole Bennett enjoys helping his community get the food they cannot afford each month.
I love volunteering at Mobile Food Pantry because I feel like everybody should get food, no matter if they can pay for it or not.
Food security is a real issue. Just trying to secure enough nutrition for themselves and their family to live, to have a quality of life.
The next distribution will be held on Saturday, February 18th at Chris O'Ray Church in Lansing, Michigan. Casco is finally coming to East Lansing. When will it open?
Plus, a new space for nursing mothers and new on-campus apartments. Those stories and more up next.
What makes a Spartan a Spartan? The relentless drive to turn question marks into exclamation points. Believing that we are strong as one, but extraordinary together. And it's our impact that matters most. What makes a Spartan is what's inside, the commitment to something bigger. Because the world never stops asking, who will? Spartans will.
Buying food in bulk at the same place you buy clothes and electronics may soon be easier. For people in the Lansing area, a new Costco is coming soon.
After months of negotiation, Costco is finally coming to East Lansing.
I supported the plan that they brought forward for the actual store.
Shanna Draham is one of 5 city council members who voted yes.
You know, they were well financed and ready to go and make use of a site that I think has been underutilized and has sat vacant for a long time.
Costco is projected to bring $90,000 in revenue to the city and create about 150 jobs.
They are a big employer. They do pay more than minimum wage.
The new building will be on the corner of Saginaw Street and Park Lake Road, which is pretty close to neighborhoods, but the plans call for shrubs and trees between the parking lot and the residential areas.
And create a visual barrier between the neighborhood and the store, but also sound.
Here is where the new Costco will be. This $40 million store will span up to 154,000 square feet, equivalent to 2.5 football fields. The store will welcome relief to many who have had to endure the vacant, blighted land since the 2002 closing of the Four Winds Golf Course.
And I can tell you, as somebody who has lived in this community for a really long time, and I live very close to that site now, getting rid of some of that blight, no matter what happens there is a positive in my eyes.
The new Costco was supposed to start being built in the beginning of the year.
Probably corporate as they get going and ramp up their construction plans, but our understanding is that they are proceeding.
The project includes a tire center, a fuel station, and all other products Costco customers are familiar with.
The new Costco is still projected to be built by the fall of 2017, even though ground has not yet been broken.
Students get a new place to stay on campus, but much bigger than a dorm room.
And a private space for nursing mothers, now here at the Communications and Arts Building. Our Chloe Keiple joins us now live from the newsroom with our new campus report. Chloe?
Thanks, guys. 1855, the year MSU was founded and the namesake of a new student housing complex.
1855 Place construction is underway at the corner of Kalamazoo and South Harrison Road.
This land held Quonset huts where married families lived before we had apartments. And so it's been an evolution through the history of Michigan State.
Kate Cooper works on the project team.
We like to think of 1855 Place as being a nod to both the future and the history of Michigan State University.
1855 Place currently offers student family housing, but is adding housing for single students.
You of course can have a significant other, but it's for the student who doesn't have a family.
MSU ID key access and green phones make Adriana Jones feel safe in the family housing units.
Although the safety can get to be a little bit too much sometimes, it is very safe as far as having a child in here.
The university wants to provide students with both on-campus amenities along with the joy of living in an apartment.
We want students to come here. We want them to attend all 4 or 6 or 8 or however long years they're going to be here.
With classes being literally outside your doorstep, it makes you wonder just how much you're going to have to pay for rent.
Prices range from $785 to $995 a month, depending on which solution students choose.
Future resident Janira Larkin has mixed feelings about the cost.
Like, people are going to look at it like as if it's expensive, but then you have to think about it, it's on campus.
And although the rent may seem high to some, units at 1855 are already going fast. In East Lansing, Deanna Sanders, Focal Point News.
Students can sign up for tours or call the leasing office for more information. A new project through MSU Sustainability is hoping to make campus a little more green. The university is installing 33 new water bottle refilling stations in hopes of reducing the amount of disposable water bottle waste. At Michigan State, nearly 75% of plastic water bottles end up in the landfill. The Natural Resources Building, Wells Hall, and Communication Arts and Sciences are getting a few of the new stations.
We mapped them out and then found opportunities on buildings that should have a station in a high traffic area. We analyzed traffic flow patterns, number of classes held, and where the current drinking fountain infrastructure was already located.
MSU has already started installing these new filling stations, and they're also working on a website to help students locate them. New mothers now have a homey environment where they can pump breast milk or nurse their babies. The updated Nursing Mothers Lounge in the Communication Arts and Sciences building includes new furniture, a refrigerator stocked with water, and a privacy screen. The room will soon feature a desk for mothers to work while pumping or nursing. It is one of 61 nursing lounges on Michigan State's campus.
We've made it a place that nursing mothers actually want to go and would feel comfortable either nursing their child or pumping to be able to continue to breastfeed their child at home and be able to help balance that work life that we're all striving to be able to balance out. That's very hard to do.
The Nursing Mothers Lounge is open to MSU faculty, staff, and students. Those wishing to use the room can get a key from the Dean's office, located on the 2nd floor of the Com Arts building. That's what's happening on campus and here in the newsroom. I'm Chloe Keipel.
Thanks, Chloe. 3 East Lansing High School students are taking their education initiatives to the Capitol in hopes of adding computer science to the state's mandated curriculum. Governor Snyder thought he was getting a photo op a few weeks back, but instead got elevator pitches. These young women told the governor they wanted to add computer coding and science not just as an after-school program, but a part of the mandated curriculum. They wanted to start in elementary schools and continue all through high school. This is their second time meeting with the Michigan representative, Adam Zimsky, in an attempt to create a pipeline and a plan. And Zimsky says age isn't a factor for intelligence here.
But they really want to broaden the discussion and get other people involved, so it's become kind of a social justice bent. And I think that's really exciting. The fact that they're advantageous and are go-getters, why wouldn't you take them seriously?
Currently, East Lansing High School students who want to pursue computer science education have limited options, and most of them are after school. Simsky and the girls agree they want to put coding classes in the school day to accommodate all students. Coming up next in sports, Matt Micah has all the MSU highlights. He joins us live now from the Sports Desk with a preview. Matt?
It's been a busy couple of weeks in Spartan sports. Coming up, the woes continue for Michigan State football as 3 players were suspended last night, and see how women's hoops stacked up against Indiana last week. Those stories and more coming up after the break.
What makes a Spartan a Spartan? The relentless drive to turn question marks into exclamation points. Believing that we are strong as one, but extraordinary together. And it's our impact that matters most. What makes a Spartan is what's inside, the commitment to something bigger. Because the world never stops asking, who will? Spartans will.
Welcome back to Focal Point. I'm Matt Micah. Michigan State University has suspended 3 football players and a staff member while police investigate sexual assault allegations. No charges have been filed, although Ingham County Prosecutor Kayla Seaman has confirmed her office has been in communication with university police about the investigation and could get requests for charges next week for review. Last night, MSU traveled to Iowa, and in their second overtime game of the season, the Spartans lost to the Hawkeyes 87-83. But last week, the Spartans hosted the Indiana Hoosiers, and freshman point guard Taryn McCutcheon did not disappoint. Senior captain Tori Jankowski and the rest of the Spartans, yeah, they're ready to roll, but McCutcheon, she stole the show. She pulls up from the top of the key, Swish City. Then look at the handles. On another level. 1 hezzy, 2 hezzy, and then she gets to the rim for the and one. Just a tremendous play by McCutcheon. Later on, she pushes it, and the vision. Such a pretty pass to Tara Reimer. McCutcheon is absolutely stoked after that play. We move to the fourth quarter, and Jankowska, she's able to pull up from beyond the arc, and she knocks it down. Buckets. Reimer, Jankowska, and McCutcheon all scored 15. McCutcheon's growth played a huge role in the Spartans' 69-60 victory.
Taryn is just tough. She doesn't even take any reps off in practice. That kid is a 40-minute kid, and in practice she takes every rep, and she wants to because she's just so hungry to get better and to help her teammates.
Michigan State will play at home on Sunday against the 3rd-ranked Maryland Terrapins. Tip-off is scheduled for 2 on ESPN2. 2 weeks ago, when the Spartans took on the rival Michigan Wolverines at the Breslin Center, Lupe Izzo orchestrated MSU's annual food drive. This was Lupe's 23rd year running the event. All proceeds are split between the Greater Lansing Food Bank and MSU Student Food Bank. Men's hoops traveled to Ann Arbor earlier this week, and the Spartans were thumped by the Wolverines, 86-57. MSU is currently 14-10 overall and will host Iowa tomorrow night. Tip-off is scheduled for 6. When you walk into Beaverton's high school gymnasium for a game, you'll find an entire community supporting their beloved basketball team. You'll also see a passionate coach pacing up and down the sideline in his red jacket. However, Coach Roy Johnston is more than a coach. He's a role model and a friend.
Behind every basket, every rebound, and every steal, there is a man who has been there every step of the way.
Everyone looks up to him. He's a role model.
His intense, fiery personality on the sideline brings the best out of his players.
The heart of this town.
And the red jacket is a symbol of Beaverton basketball.
1,030 games straight that he has never missed a game on the sideline.
Basketball coach Roy Johnson is legendary around here.
It's hard to explain what Coach Johnson brings to this community.
Known simply around here as Roy, he now has 729 wins, the most in Michigan high school boys basketball history.
Cherry on top of the cake, you know, to be able to celebrate this here with your home fans.
But this milestone is just a small accomplishment to what the legendary coach means to this town.
It's awesome. Just to see all the community out here. I mean, you're sitting shoulder to shoulder with people. There's no room for any extra people, so it's just great.
He's a fantastic man, and he's meant so much to so many kids over the years.
With 15 district titles and 5 regional championships, he says this moment means the most.
And I want to thank all of you, and thank all the parents and the community that have made this a great place to live in.
Tonight stands out. It's not too often you get to break a record that is this long standing, and I couldn't be happier for him.
And as the clock winds down, Coach Roy Johnston continues to climb new heights and cement his legacy in Michigan basketball history.
To put this incredible milestone into perspective, the miles Johnston traveled in the 43 years of road trips equals 4 trips around Earth. And 40-year-old JV coach Shad Woodford would need to go undefeated until the age of 77 to match Johnston's win total. Now, the road back to the Big Ten Championship began last week as Mark D'Antonio and the Spartans signed 24 new recruits on National Signing Day. D'Antonio believes the new class will be a good fit at East Lansing and represents what the team lacked a season ago.
A class that represents our needs. It represents also great football players and great people. We have guys who've won state championships. We have very high academic-oriented guys with extreme athletic ability and explosiveness, and guys that play multiple positions.
MSU hockey was at Munn Ice Arena last weekend playing host to the 18th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers.
Wisconsin struck first, but MSU stormed back in the second period as the Spartans knotted the game here. But oh boy, watch out as we have punches thrown. Chaos ensues. Not the year MSU was looking for, but showed a lot of fight in this game. Rent Holland was one to score the goal. And then later on, this was a beauty. The captain, Joe Cox, the backhand. Just a beautiful shot with the backhand right there with a little spinorama on the ice. And MSU takes the lead. The Badgers score back-to-back goals, starting with Trent Fredericks, who sneaks the puck into the net. So the Badgers have the lead late in the third period, but Michigan State ties the game as Brendan Sanford knocks it in with the one-timer right there. Beautiful. But Wisconsin is able to take the game winner in overtime, beating the Spartans 4-3. MSU will play Michigan in the duel in the D tonight at Joe Louis Arena. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:30. Senior Day at Jennison Fieldhouse last Sunday as the MSU wrestling team welcomed the 10th-ranked Michigan Wolverines for their last home matchup of the season. MSU went ahead early, and Jennison Fieldhouse, it was rocking after senior Nick Trimble came back from a 7-2 deficit to win 13-8. It was his 51st career win, and it was in a thrilling fashion on Senior Day and in his last home match. Michigan State will head to Eastern Michigan and Wisconsin, respectively, for their last two regular season matches. Only days away from spring training in the major leagues. This upcoming Monday, pitchers and catchers report, and how about some college baseball? MSU began practice last week as the Spartans begin their journey towards a Big Ten title.
Over Christmas break, you kind of get that itch going, and once we get back, when practices start, it goes really quick, but we're really excited to get back out there, get back out with the guys, get back out there and start competing.
We haven't competed really since, I guess October, and so guys are chomping at the bit. We're getting sick of seeing each other in practice and kind of inter squads and things like that. But guys are prepared. They know what it takes to get ready this time of year in the north, inside, and we'll be ready to go a week from Friday.
Michigan State has 6 returning starters back from last season's squad that posted a 36-20 overall record and was 13-11 in Big Ten action, reaching the Big Ten tournament semifinals as the number 6 seed. And that's what's happening in sports. I'm Matt Micah. Back to you guys on the desk.
Another major Broadway musical is making its way back to the Wharton Center.
Disney's The Lion King will make a return appearance at the Wharton Center for a 3-week run in July 2018. Tickets will go on sale in early April this year for season ticket subscribers. The show will be a feature of the Wharton's 35th season.
This is the 3rd time the musical has performed here. The last show at Wharton was in 2009.
Thanks for tuning in to the first broadcast of the semester. I'm Sierra Cersei.
And I'm Callie Cullen. We leave you now with the MSU Symphony Band who performed Tuesday evening. Good night.